Alright, what's up guys, Toasty here, Get Burnt, and today I'm going to bring you guys a video talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and I know a lot of you are going to be a little bit unhappy with the fact that I just said that, only because some of you feel like if a game isn't announced that it shouldn't be talked about, although I do think that it is best to give feedback and all that stuff for a game when it first actually comes, or at least when it starts development. So I think that now would be a smart time, especially since Xenoverse itself for a lot of people has started to die down. A lot of people have stopped playing Xenoverse because, you know, it's kind of lived through its life cycle. It was a few months, I wouldn't say it was that bad. I guess that I could say that it stopped being very active around June, I guess, like the end of June, because that's when DLC 3 came out and all that stuff. And yeah, pretty much I wanted to start talking about things that should be in the next game. Who knows? I mean, obviously Namco Bandai releases a Dragon Ball game every single year. That's just how it's been for the last few years. And now it seems like next year it probably won't be Xenoverse 2, because if it was, they actually would have announced it by some point before July. They would have decided to probably announce it either around E3 or something like that, but they didn't do that. And most likely it is in development right now. Now, I know a lot of you are probably saying, but I don't want a Xenoverse 2 or something like that. But, you know, most likely with how well Xenoverse actually did for it being like the best Dragon Ball Z game, or at least the one to do the best in a few years, I would assume that they're going to make a second one. That's the smartest decision for them right now, because right now with them as they are right now for Namco Bandai and Dragon Ball games, if they went and did a game that was completely different from Xenoverse, a lot of people might not like it, especially since, you know, a lot of you are probably going to say make a Budokai 4 or something like that. They don't know the current stance of the fan base, if they would all prefer a 3D or a 2.5D game. So I don't know, I wanted to kind of talk about Xenoverse 2 because that's what I feel like they're really making. Like, I have a really gut feeling that they're making Xenoverse 2 right now, and I feel like that is something that we should probably focus our time into speculating about and talking about, saying what we think should be in the game and all that stuff. And who knows, maybe if someone from Namco Bandai ever happens to watch any of these videos, that maybe they'll be able to maybe pass that on to Dimps, and maybe some of these changes could actually get into the game. Now, that's obviously wishful thinking, but I thought, you know, it would be a good idea to start talking about this stuff now, especially since Xenoverse has kind of lived through its life cycle. A few days ago, I kind of was just on YouTube, and I saw that one of my friends in the squad, his name is Thundershot, I'll link you guys to his channel down below, but he started talking about Xenoverse 2 as well. He started talking about new game ideas, just in case, you know, because it makes a lot of sense to do so since Xenoverse itself has died down. Last time I made a Xenoverse video, or Xenoverse 2 video, a lot of people did not feel like it was a necessary time, because, you know, it was kind of around the end or so, I think, of February, beginning of March, and a lot of people thought that that was way too early for Xenoverse's life cycle. For me, I had played the game for already a month, and I already had ideas on what I could have it to fix things in the game, so I kind of wanted to cover that today. So down below, tell me what you guys think that should be changed in Xenoverse 2, or whatever the next game is. What do you think they should do for it? I'm going to be doing 3 topics today, which is character creation, customization, online modes, and multiplayer numbers. Now, I'll explain what all those mean in a minute, but yeah, if you guys have anything that you guys would want in Xenoverse 2 that wasn't maybe in Xenoverse 1, or maybe if something was a little bit different in Xenoverse that you would like to see, maybe something, one mechanic that you'd want to see change very much, I will be making more videos on different topics for this series, so make sure you guys leave your thoughts down below and all that stuff, so then maybe I can find and pick one of your suggestions, and then maybe I'll do a video on that for this series as well. So for today, as I said before, I'm doing character creation, customization, so that's pretty much the most in-depth way of creating your character and customizing him, and then online modes, which the different online modes that they could have in Xenoverse 2, and multiplayer numbers. So first, I'm going to start with the character creation customization. So in Xenoverse, I think that the character creation customization was actually not incredibly awful. The things that were keeping a lot of people away from things was that, you know, it took a lot of RNG and a lot of annoying stuff to get items in parallel quests. And I know a lot of you are probably going to say the Elder Kai can give you a lot of things if you talk to him and all that stuff, but that wasn't introduced until very late in Xenoverse's life cycle. So a lot of people were having a lot of issues trying to get the things they wanted from certain parallel quests. So for me personally, I think that they should allow you to, if you are doing certain parallel quests or whatever, or maybe just doing missions, that you can buy pretty much any item in the game. Now, I know a lot of you are probably going to say that's way too easy and that you should be forced to do like some sort of quest for that. I guess so, but then if that's going to happen, then we will need some sort of concrete like specifications that you need to fill to get that item. So let's pretend like we're in the next game. Let's pretend we're in Xenoverse 2 and I want the Z sword for my character, to have it on my character's back and all that stuff. So instead of me having to do a bunch of random stuff in a mission, I would like there to be specific things that wouldn't be needed for you to do for you to get that. Because, you know, now as it was in Xenoverse, you would pretty much complete the mission and you could do it flawlessly, it doesn't matter, you might not get the item anyway, and the only way to remedy that is really Elder Kai. So personally, I think that there should be some sort of concrete system with that, to where if you're trying to get a certain item, that there should be some sort of specifications for you to get it, and then, you know, obviously customize your character in the best way you can. Now, for the other point that I wanted to talk about for this is stats. So we talked about this a little while ago on my channel. I talked in a discussion with S. about it, about character creation stats on your clothing. Now, a lot of people don't like the fact that like there are stats on everybody's clothes that can change certain things, because, you know, some people want to wear certain outfits that would be, you know, kind of detrimenting to their actual thing they're trying to do. Like, let's say I'm trying to do basic attack. If I'm trying to wear an outfit that is just like completely decreasing in anything basic attack, a lot of people really don't like that sort of thing. And I know a lot of you had arguments about that, saying that we have no idea how much it really affects the stats, and that's really true. We don't really have a whole lot of idea how much it affects the stats. A lot of people think it should be just done away with for that reason alone, because they feel like there really is no point in having the stats on them if we really can't see the difference in how much it actually changes the character. A lot of people say just wear whatever you want, which is true. Usually in games like this, I won't really care about the stats as much. I mean, you know, winning is great and everything like that, but, you know, I want my character to look the best that he can be. I don't know if that's just me. I really just always want my character to look his absolute best, want him to look like a beast, so I usually just pick whatever looks the best. So tell me what you guys think in the comments about that down below, though. Personally, I don't know about stats on clothing. That's something I still haven't decided on yet, because there are two different sides to it, which could be that you know, it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing for some people. So tell me what you guys think about that in the comments. I guess that for now, I would say I wouldn't want there to be any stats on clothes. Let it all speak from your actual tree of how you build your character in your attributes. So I think that that's probably the best way to make clothing. Obviously, I think it just can be all cosmetic, and yeah, that's really it. I mean, you know, I think that clothing and all that stuff really shouldn't affect your character as much. I mean, I guess they're trying to give it an MMO feel as to how everything is with your clothing, you know, giving you stats and all that stuff, like how it does in certain MMOs, but I don't know if that really works for Xenoverse, only because it's kind of like a fighting game, or, well, I guess a fighting game. So I didn't like that idea as much for that. So tell me what you guys think about that in the comments, though, because that is a split topic. Next thing I want to talk about are online modes. So in Xenoverse, there really aren't a lot of online modes. Now, there are parallel quests, and you could also do like some sort of like things in just like the fighting, like just like battling people in your multiplayer battles, but that's really it. You have nothing really else to do in multiplayer besides run around Toki Toki City. So I'm thinking that there should be some more modes. And it's weird, because I thought that there was going to be a mode in Xenoverse with the Dragon Ball grab type thing that was, I believe, in Battle of Z. I wouldn't know a lot because I didn't play Battle of Z a lot. Personally, didn't like the game. So I think that the Battle of Z, like kind of Dragon Ball grab game, could really work in a Xenoverse format, especially since they already have a Dragon Ball kind of grab format in the game with a few of the Dragon Ball missions where you have to grab the Dragon Balls and put them into your pod. I think that that means that you could have put a really good kind of mode in there for that. In multiplayer, it would have been a very fun mode. It would have been pretty casual, I guess. I mean, really, it's very simple. You can barely hit when you have one Dragon Ball in your hand, and when you have two Dragon Balls, you're actually not able to hit anyone at all. You actually have to just travel. And the thing that would have to change, though, for this is that if this was to actually happen, you'd have to be able to catch somebody. Well, that is just in the core mechanics of the game, though, so we will talk about that another time, but you need to be able to catch someone in-game, which you really can't do as well in Xenoverse usually when someone's running away from you, so that would need to be changed if that mode was supposed to be established. But I think that that mode would have been a really great idea for online. I think it would have been a very fun mode to be able to chase your friends around, or just chase other people around and try and like get the most Dragon Balls into your capsule or whatever, so that you can maybe, you know, obviously win. And obviously you can go to someone else's capsule on the other side of the map and, you know, maybe take Dragon Balls out of their capsule and all that stuff, and just go to your capsule and put them in. I guess 7 Dragon Balls, the first one to get all 7 Dragon Balls in their capsule wins. I think that would be a really great thing to do for the next game, especially for a Xenoverse 2. That was the main online mode that I really kind of wanted to push, because that mode is already technically in Xenoverse, so I think that it could actually do very well as a multiplayer mode. For other modes, I think that there could be a lot of other modes that could be very easily done. Cards, I don't think should be in any Xenoverse game or anything like that, so leave that kind of stuff in Battle of Z and everything like that. Don't want any like kind of cards or anything like that. That is just not honestly what I think would work at all in Xenoverse. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about for the multiplayer online modes, because, you know, I really have no other ideas for that. So tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. What would you like to see in a Xenoverse 2 for a multiplayer mode? Like, what other things would you like to see? Give me your ideas in the comment section down below. Next, last thing, we have multiplayer numbers. So this is pretty much saying what's the cap of people that you want to be able to play with. Now, a lot of people had problems with 3v3. A lot of people had problems with like the battle number in Battle of Z. And personally, I think that raising it to at least 4v4 would actually be pretty cool. Now, obviously it would only have to be for a certain mode. I don't think that it should just in general be like 4v4. That's a little bit too hectic, but for Xenoverse itself, I don't think it's too hectic enough to actually have. I think 4v4 would be really cool. Now, for the fact that we don't know how much Xenoverse can actually handle in terms of people on the stage at once, we don't know if 4v4 was actually able to be done. For all we know, it could have been like, you know, speculated for them to put it in back when they were making the game, and then they had to scrap it, and then they just had to settle for 3v3 for all we know. But, you know, having more numbers, especially if the next game, which it most likely will only be on the next gen consoles, or next gen, I guess the current consoles now, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, I think that that would really be able to kind of close some of the gaps, because, you know, I don't think that 4v4 will actually be able to be handled on the PS3 or Xbox 360, because on 3v3, that game was lagging pretty bad on PS3 and Xbox 360, or at least when it came at launch. I don't know if it's fixed now or anything like that, but back at launch, it was very laggy whenever you get into a game with more than 2v2. So, you know, I don't know. If it could be handled on the new consoles, that would be really awesome for a 4v4 or anything like that. Maybe there's only one mode, and that's 4v4, as well as obviously the offline battle and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that that sort of thing would also actually be really awesome for them to add in for more players and all that stuff. You know, and it could free up some things like, you know, if they do bring parallel quests back, I think that they should allow you to have at least up to 5 characters or 5 people in the match, because, you know, you don't know how many times that me, S. Afro, and Nindakuba wanted to play together, and we weren't able to because, you know, we would have to cut one of us out. Nindakuba usually had to get left out, or someone else had to get left out for everyone to play together, because, you know, they only allowed you up to 3 people in your squad or whatever for the parallel quests, so we would just have to leave someone out. So hopefully that sort of thing will get fixed. At least in parallel quests, I would like to see more players being allowed to actually fight against it, or fight against parallel quests. I think that would be really awesome. And yeah, that's really it for this video, guys. I know this video was kind of long, but that's kind of like the point of these videos. They're supposed to be long-winded discussions of me talking to you guys about what I think should be in the next Dragon Ball Z game. So tell me what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Do you guys like this video? If you did, then make sure to leave a like down below, as well as subscribe if you are new and enjoyed the video. There will be more discussions like this on the channel from now on, or at least until a new game gets announced, and then obviously we'll focus more on the new game as well. But I do want to talk more about games on Dragon Ball Z games on this channel, because, you know, that is kind of where a big amount of my growth started. So I kind of want to bring that back, because, you know, talking about Dragon Ball Super is great, but I kind of want to talk about Dragon Ball Z games too, because I really do enjoy playing them. So tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I will see you guys later though. Have a great day and peace out.